Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BD44. I just saw a picture of Justin Bieber, and it brought me to a topic that's kind of been floating around in my head, but I hadn't really had a chance to address it because it just never comes to mind when I have a camera in my hand. So I figured I'd give it a shot right now. Justin made a song a long time ago, probably when he was a young child, probably like 13 or 14, something like that, where he was harmonizing the N word, singing it, and it was very offensive, and it was very well, it floated around the internet, and everybody's aware of it. And he has gotten a whole lot of crap for that, and rightfully so, because anytime you are bold enough to put that word out there, singing it and harmonizing it like it's supposed to be a joke or something, people are gonna pull your coattail and then some. But it becomes a thing where a person like myself has to ask myself a question and say, all the things that I was able to learn from as a young person, and all the mistakes that I made. And I'll tell you, I'm certain I've uttered some words that you would be offended by at some point in time in these 36 years. And meant what I said. Wasn't pretty, wasn't a beautiful thought, wasn't a beautiful display. Probably even paid for it. Karma probably came my way for some of the stuff. And, I'm a better person today. If you were to attach the character of the person I found myself being now to some of those things, you would not even give me the time of day. I wouldn't be able to walk comfortably if I were a famous person, just because of some of the stupid stuff that maybe I did when I was a young kid, said when I was a young kid, offended some groups of people, or just displayed myself in a way that wasn't okay. You got to grow from that. But society has to allow you to at the same time. I do not want to still be paying for things that I did when I was 13, 12, 14 years of age, in my 30s, or in Justin's case, in his 20s. He's a grown man. He's married. He's moved on with his life. He's attached himself to different topics that would allow him to show himself as somebody who's at least trying to display himself as somebody that's friendly to our community. I think at some point we got to say, you know what, this is somebody who did something that we didn't approve of when he was a young person. It was something that if he did it today, we would cancel him all over again. But when you're 12, 13, 14, whatever age he was, it was under 16, I'm certain, and you're doing stuff like that, after your coattail gets pulled, after people drag you through the mud, at some point, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. Now, if he doubles down on it and says, yo, I don't like y'all, I'm still singing this song, I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to perform this track, I'm going to try to sell it on iTunes. Like, if he's going through the motions of trying to be a full-fledged racist, then we go forward and we move that way. But as far as him saying, yo, I did that, I'm sorry, he done made songs, you know what I mean? Songs that I don't think he would have made if he didn't get killed for that, to be honest with you. But he's done it, and I think I'm at a point where I'm ready to say, all right, let's move on from that. I got I'm angry about this, quote unquote, I'm offended by this, out of my system. Now, I still want to just drag him through the mud for this forever, when he's not doubling down on it, when he's not claiming to be somebody who feels that way today, when he's not willing to say those words or sing that song today. I saw he has a hairstyle, he did the dreads. But we know, like, when it comes to dreads, I'm not qualified, first of all, to tell you what the true meaning is for people who wear dreads in terms of the, Jamaican people, Rastafarian people and their cultures and how they get down. I'm ignorant. I don't know. But we know that there are a great deal of Caucasian people who have taken their version of dreads and have worn them. I've seen enough of that in my life to know that they too wear dreads their way. He got their type of dreads. He's wearing them. I don't have no problem with that. I'm not going to bring up that song. I'm not going to bring up a cultural appropriation and all of that. I get it. Justin Bieber sings black music a lot of the time. He does pop music as well, but he sings black music a lot. And he's made a lot of money off of doing music that's black music. And we've had some artists in the past who may not have been too black friendly, but made a whole lot of money off of black people music and didn't give us a whole lot of love. I don't get that energy from Justin Bieber. I don't get that energy from him at all. What I get from him is somebody who's a part of the machine, right? When you're a pop star, you're a part of the machine, and he's doing the music that he is supposed to make as a pop star, who has range in terms of being able to do R&B and able to do traditional pop and able to do acoustic guitar stuff. He's a super talented kid, you know what I mean? He really is. I remember he came to my job once when I worked at ESPN Zone. They had a whole concert for him. He was probably around the time when he was singing that N-word song, to be honest, or just probably a year after that or something. He was still a kid, but he had his little guitar, and they had him kind of like looking down on LA Live as he was playing his guitar. He sounded phenomenal. It was just him, a microphone, and his guitar, and he did what he does. He's a really talented dude. Usher brought him onto the scene. I remember that. So a lot of why he does black music has to do with the influence of the people who brought him into the game. And, I'm not here to shoot bail to anybody who would be deemed a racist. I'm not here to tell people that it's okay to say the N-word so long as you're not over the age of 16. I'm not here to say that kind of stuff because that's not how I feel. But like I said, after someone's done being dragged, after you've given them the ass whooping that they deserve, after you beat the dog shit out of whoever it is for whatever they've done, after that, how do we behave? That's the question I pose to all of us. What's the right thing after that? Do we keep kicking? Do we keep punching? Do we as soon as they get ready to pull themselves up and get up standing upright, do we knock them back down again? Is that the way to go when someone does these type of things? Because from where I'm sitting, that don't feel right. That don't feel right doing that to somebody who's not doubling down on the hate. That don't feel right doing that to somebody who's saying, you know what, that's not how I feel. I'm not living that way. I don't move that way. Me and my wife don't operate that way. I've grown from that. I've taken my lumps from that or what have you. You know, hey, look, maybe somebody just saw this video of him doing this today. Now they're offended for the first time. I'm not going to tell them how to feel. But for the rest of us who are aware of what happened, who've already gotten our FU for that out of the way, quote unquote. Now, for me, I'm ready to move on. I got a bunch of playlists that I've made. You guys know about me in regards to that. You can follow me on Apple Music, BDF. And I got over 400 playlists. He's on several of them. I put his music on there. Some of his latest music I put on there, and I like a lot of it. His latest album is pretty solid for what it is. It's a pop album, but you're gonna find songs on there that you may dig if you like the type of music he makes. He didn't miss, but it seems like there's a disconnect because of that thing that he did back in the day, and it offended a lot of people who look like me. And sometimes there's no coming back from that. I respect that. But in this particular case, when we do have people doubling down, we do have people saying, yo, F y'all, we don't care about y'all. We want to see police kill you. We want to see you guys get murdered in the streets by each other. We want to see you in poverty. We want to continue to reinforce these ideals that you are not a decent person despite not earning that yourself as an individual. They have people out there who we need to be canceling in that regard. I don't think we need to be giving that energy to people who aren't displaying themselves that way. Now, if he comes back around and shows us that he really is a racist after all, then that's new information and I will act accordingly. But as of right now, I don't see no reason to continue to bash him over the head about something he did when he was 12, 13, 14 years old. I just don't. And that's coming from somebody who doesn't want to hear anybody say the N-word to me. I don't want to hear it. But after I finish kicking your butt over it, what are we doing? After we cancel you, what are we doing? We're going to go find you and cancel you again? We're going to find you, kill you? Like, how far do we take this outrage? And so that's the question I pose. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm just telling you I'm not certain if the way that I'm seeing people behave in regards to this is the way that I think we should go. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, man, that's what I got, man. Black people, we have to be honest with our friends when we're offended about something that they say. A lot of us, not everybody, but a lot of us are offended by the N-word, but we are too loving of our friends to tell them that they've done something that hurts us or to said something that made us offended or what have you. Not everybody's gonna relate to that, and if you don't, same for you. But for those of us who do, if you're really a friend to your friend, you got to let them know that something hurts you. Because if it hurts you, it may get them hurt. Do you understand what I'm saying? They say it around the wrong person, it may get them hurt. My mother told me that when I was a child. She was like, tell all your white friends don't say the N-word. Even if you don't mind them saying it to you, they're going to run into the wrong person comfortable, even in your presence while talking to you, and may be attacked for it. You know what I mean? You could be talking, like, I'm not saying this is a situation that happens a lot or like every black person is going to attack every white person that says the N-word. That's not how this goes. But you do leave yourself vulnerable for an assault, literally. Like someone will take off with hands and feet and everything they hold over the N-word. And so it's very important that people understand how serious it is. Because I know there are a lot of people, especially in this younger generation, they really don't know the history. They know the word is offensive, but they compare it to other offensive words. And with all due respect, there are no words that parallel the N-word. None. None of your worst, most hated and offensive words even approach the level of vitriol that the N-word and the level of negativity that's been pointed in that direction. It's nothing that comes close. Not in this country. Now, in other countries and other cultures, I do not know. But in America, the N-word is the worst word you can say. It's the worst one. People have died over that word. People have killed over that word. It'd be the last thing people hear sometimes. It'd be, like literally. On both sides of the gun. So understand. We are not in the business of thinking that it's okay to just say what say offensive words to you while demanding that you shouldn't say offensive words to us. But at the same time, once you do understand that the N-word is as negative and as offensive as it is, we hold all of our allies responsible for keeping that word to themselves. If you're going to say it in your head. If you're going to sing the rap lyrics, mute that one. It can be the difference between offending somebody you really, really appreciate and not. And then whatever comes with that. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm just telling you what's rude in this regard. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's rude. But also it's really hurtful. It's one of those situations where it's like, somebody's great-grandparent was raped while hearing that word over and over again. Do you understand what I'm saying? Someone's great-grandfather or even grandfather or uncle was lynched. And that word was the last thing they heard before their neck snapped. Like, this is the type of stuff that people in this generation need to understand about the N-word, why it's such an important thing to be aware of. Because you will run into the wrong black person. And you will find yourself in a real fist fight, or worse in some cases, depending on what type of mind you are talking to. So this is something that I'm saying out of love. Not because you don't say that because you're not black. That's not the energy I'm bringing to you today. I'm saying please protect yourselves from all things harmful. And one of the things that can harm you is your very own mouth saying the wrong thing to the wrong person. And that's not limited to anything, but that's definitely involving the N-word. My name is BDF44, and I'm out.